Hello everyone, in this video we are going to go through HTML ID attribute. And for this video I'm going to use Visual Studio as my code editor and this index.html, a very basic HTML document to start with. By the way, if you need to learn more about Visual Studio code, you can watch my videos and find the links in the description below. Let's get back to the point. The ID attribute specifies a unique ID for an HTML element. The value of the ID attribute must be unique within the HTML document. The ID attribute is used to point to a specific style declaration in a style sheet. It is also used by JavaScript to access and manipulate the element with a specific ID. Now let me give you an example. Let me show you this page first. Let me resize this code, and this is what we have right now. We don't have anything yet, and I'm going to type in here h1 and hello world. Let's say this is what we have. I'm also gonna assign here an ID, which would be my heading. Oops, let me delete it. And now I'm gonna give it a reference of this ID within head tag and type in here style, and within this style tag I'm going to give a reference of this ID followed by hash, paste, and a couple of curly braces, and after that I'm going to style my heading as background color to be light blue. Hit save, and it also gives you live feedback here, and then I'm gonna give it a color of black. Hit save, and then some padding of 40 pixels, and I'm also gonna text align to center. Hit save, and here it is. This is how we can style with a unique ID. One important thing is that the ID name is case sensitive. The ID name must contain at least one character, cannot start with a number, and must not contain white spaces. Now there is a little difference between class and ID. A class name can be used by multiple HTML elements, whereas an ID name must only be used by one HTML element within the page. Now you can also bookmark your HTML elements with the help of ID. Let me give you an example of it. And I'm gonna type in here, let's delete this styling, and I'm gonna take h1 here, and let's say heading 1. Also gonna take some lorem within paragraph tag, and let's reduce it a bit. Yes, that will do. Hit save. This is what we have right now, and I'm gonna delete this heading as well. Let's cut it from here and paste it within body tag. Hit save. This is what we have right now. Now I'm gonna copy all of these a couple of times. Hit save. This is what we have right now. Now I'm gonna change the number of my headings. This would be heading number 2, and this would be heading number 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's fine. and this is what we have right now. Now let's say if you want to make your users to jump to the heading number 8, why a button should be here. Let me give a button here, a paragraph, and within this paragraph I'm gonna give an anchor tag, and within this anchor tag right, I'm gonna type in here jump to heading number 8. Save. This is what we have right now. Nothing happens. Now let's go to heading number 8, and I'm gonna give here an ID, and the ID would be H8, and I'm gonna also give a reference of this H8 here, sharp H8. Now I should copy it a couple of times, hit save, and now if I click on this button, it should take me to the heading number 8. Here it is. The ID attribute can also be used by JavaScript to perform some tasks for the specific element. Let me give an example. Now let me delete all of this for now. Let's save, and this is what we have right now. And what I want to do, I'm also going to delete this paragraph tag, and I'm going to take a button here and type in here change the text above, and I'm also gonna type some text here, lorem. Let's reduce it a bit and save. This is what we have right now. And what I want to do is, if you click on this button, the text of this element should change, and we can do this just by going back to our button, and I'm gonna take an attribute here, on click, and define a function. Let's say change text, and parenthesis, and save. Now let's give script tag, and within this script tag I'm gonna define my function. The function would be change text with parentheses, and here I'm gonna type document dot get element by ID, and the ID would be, I'm gonna give my paragraph an ID. Let's say text. I'm gonna paste this ID here, and let's move on dot inner HTML equals the text has been changed, and column. Save, and if I click on this button, the text has been changed. Alright guys, that ends the video here. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.